This week on JTV, we're digging in the dirt and creating planters from recycled containers, and also showing you SoilMoist from JRM Chemical. Wait till you see what this turns into. So let's get started with today's project. One of the challenges as our climates change is heat throughout the summertime, and we want to ensure that our plants always have some protection from drought. SoilMoist is the perfect way for us to work with that. Today, we've chosen some organic soil mixture that we're going to use, and we're going to add our SoilMoist to that. Now on the package, it says that you can add it in a dry form. You add one of these scoops per 4-inch pot of soil. Today, I'm going to add it already pre-hydrated. 3 of these made this amount, and we've already hydrated it, and we're going to mix it into the soil itself. The reason that we do this, and I learned this hint a couple years ago from the SoilMoist salesman, is that it's already expanded. And by mixing that into the soil, we're going to ensure that it's all the way through and then it doesn't increase the volume of our soil. Many times we want to plant that up to the very top, and if we do that and then all our SoilMoist expands, it can drive some of the soil over the top of the container. SoilMoist is again a product that provides moisture. It retains that moisture when the plant has water. Here's a picture of it actually with the roots themselves. And the roots grow through those. The great part about this is SoilMoist is non-toxic and it's safe for any plant or vegetable. They're also making these cool new products. These are plant stakes that you actually push down into the plant themselves. They come in large sizes and small sizes. But again, it provides moisture to your plant when you can't be there. So we've mixed this in and we're going to put it inside our container. Now again, green alerts for those of you who are interested. These are containers that I've had around for a while, so I wanted to recycle them and I wanted to do something different. I've had the pans and the pots in my garage, but today's project allows me to combine those together and create something that's very unique. We've mixed our SoilMoist inside here. Now, if we wanted to add drainage to the bottom of this soil, we could do that at this point in time. A great way to do that is to use packing peanuts. What I do with my packing peanuts is I place them inside a plastic bag, tie that plastic bag shut, and then have that down in the bottom of the container. Now everybody asks me why I do that. Because when I dump this out in the fall and move my container inside, then when I pop this out, that plastic bag comes out as one piece, and I don't have packing peanuts all over the yard. So that's a great way to do that. Now today, we're going to do something different. We're using a pot, and we're going to invert that upside down over the holes in the bottom of the container. That's going to supply our drainage for our container itself. Then we add our soil. So we're adding our soil over that upside down pot. We're going to fill up our container about halfway and then reserve this extra soil to fill in. Now remember, SoilMoist is already mixed into the soil, and they make great products, like their plant stakes or even the mats that can fit inside hanging baskets. It's the easiest way for you to ensure your plants aren't going to dry out over hot summers. So now it's time for our plants. I've got a great selection. And what we're going to do is plant these plants in a perimeter around the outside of the container itself. So we've got a great begonia here. And notice how we've set him towards the edge and he's facing outwards. Add more of our SoilMoist mixture around the outside. We'll add a geranium over here on this side. Got a great looking coleus. Now, because I'm creating this for a shady area, I've paid attention to the back of each one of my labels, which tells me exactly where those are supposed to be planted. So I'm looking for plants that like a shady area. If I was going to plant it in full sun, I could make all full sun plants too, but this one's going in the shade. Again, as I'm working with 6-packs, I simply pinch down below and then I can pull my plant out completely, keeping that whole ball of roots completely together. And with these guys, I'm going to plant them together in one unit on one side, so I kind of have a grouping. It's the same way that we create beautiful flower arrangements too, by grouping flowers together. Saved one over here, and we'll put him on the other side. That provides transition. Notice how the elements and principles of design, whether it's flower arrangements or planters, all still tie together. Added the salvia in a group together. And I'm just going to go ahead and add the rest of these plants. Remember, I keep planting these in a perimeter all the way around the outside of the container. I'm keeping that center area exposed. Now here's a tip with petunias. I know this is going to make everybody crazy, but the very best thing that you can do with your petunias is pinch them off. So just before I plant these, I'm going to go ahead and take off those areas that look like the blooms are coming on. Now, I know it's really hard to do, but at the same time, I know that having a pinched plant like that is going to give me profuse blooms in a couple more weeks. So it's an investment I'm making right now with that plant to ensure I have it fuller later on. It's hard to do, but at the same time, the payoff is great. We're going to tuck those in around the outside, and we're putting them on the edge because I chose a cascading variety, so they're going to cascade over the side of the container. So I've got it all filled in, just making sure that all of my root balls are covered up. My next step is to thoroughly water it in, so we'll take care of that. So now that it's all watered in, we're going to go ahead and add some decorative stones. I like the fact that I can add decorative stones inside to my planter itself, because it gives it some interest and a little bit of textural differences. So we just go in with some great shiny red stones. Since this is an all red planter, we can mix those in between. Try to use a couple different kinds too. This is a great little gravel. Look at how wonderful that looks in between those plants. So it gives a little bit of color until the flowers actually take over. You'll notice that I did the same with this one too. It's a perimeter all the way around. We have our decorative stones inside there, and then we also have an exposed container on the inside that's been turned upside down. I also took one more reclaimed pot and planted it with some red and burgundy coleus. So this is where it gets fun. We take our first one, we add our second one, setting it down on that container in the middle. and our third container goes in the top. So now we've got a great three-tiered tower of beautiful plants that are going to grow and cascade all season long. It's a great way for us to reuse 3 containers and create something spectacular this year for outside. All thanks to the people at SoilMoist, who are going to ensure that our flowers are drought tolerant all summer long. Until next week, keep having fun with flowers.